if you want to come out here to get rich, if you want to come out here to get accolades and get likes, you're in for a rude awakening. The only thing that gets through is the light, and that light is the why and the purpose and really helping people get to their true light, to the American dream.
Yes.
I was like, you can't tell me nothing. If my dad did that, what am I about to do? I just wanted to introduce myself. What are you doing, Chris? Who are you to introduce yourself? I just had that boldness, right? I just want to be the light I hope to see in others, but I can't make you be something that you aren't prepared to be or ready to be.
Is that said a lot in the industry? People say,
like, I would have to sell my soul.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Do people sell their soul in order to make it in this industry?
I don't think they actually like sit down and make a prayer to demonic energy and sell their soul. But I think they let go of the righteousness and they just get on that boat and let the boat take them wherever they need to go. Like,
for fame.
Whoever is sailing that boat is like, listen, I'm on.
For fame.
And they're like, strap in.
For fame, for money, for attention.
Like, yeah, wherever we need to go, I'm down for the ride. And I had 1 foot in the boat and 1 foot on the dock. And I got off the boat.
How did you feel about that? Was there a loss? Was there a grief? Was there a mourning?
Oh, you know what? I was wrestling. I was in between, like, oh my God, this is crazy. But Chris, you can never be that guy. Like, you never, and this is not to put anybody down and be judgmental.
Just different things for different people.
But it was just certain kinds of personalities that I was interacting with, and they were all the same people that I was idolizing. And it was almost like God said, be careful what you wish for.
They say, don't meet your heroes.
Exactly. Be careful what you wish for, because you might just get it. Or, oh, that's what you want? Those are the people you think are king? Okay, watch this. I'm gonna put you right there. How's it feel now? You want more of that? And I had to make a decision, like a career-changing decision, on whether or not I wanted to continue pursuing that business in the frontline industry and exploiting music and marketing artists and promoting messages and that are destructive.
What's the math on what you were seeing? You know, was it that you felt like these,
Christ.
I want to know, like, was the,
I've seen it all, Nicole.
Was the artist, you know, not getting paid anything? Were you being asked to foot the bill yourself? You know, like, what were you seeing where, at least on a numbers level, you were like, I am better off out?
I've seen a lot of dark stuff in the music industry. I've seen a lot of bad behavior. I've seen a lot of people's dreams being shattered. I've seen a lot of people being lied to. I've seen a lot of people being manipulated through scare tactics. I've seen a lot of foul play, and bad actors was involved in foul play when it comes to competing in the music industry in terms of like dominance. And when I say foul play, I'm talking about all kinds of foul play. I never engaged in the
mess. The real mess. Yeah.
The stuff that you hear about that ruins people's
the paper,
careers.
the coins,
but
it
the
is what it
paperwork,
is. Yeah, for sure.
The deals,
part of what
knowing
it is.
that you're taking somebody's rights and they really don't know what they're doing. And the lawyer really is in cahoots with the record company because we pay the lawyer fees. So even though, you know, the lawyer is always telling the artist, don't worry, the label is going to pay my fee on top. Yeah, because we make sure the lawyer's in line to get that deal done. So they almost work for the record company, not for the artist. So manipulating artists, making them sign deals, owning their rights, not wanting to give it back, dropping artists, ruining people's careers, pitting artists against each other, pitting executives against each other, manipulating people to feel like they had to hang out or they wouldn't be seated at the table tomorrow morning. They had to be a part of certain, you know,
spaces.
Or now,
are these big artists too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is at the highest level. Like, yeah, absolutely. Like, it's this spiritual warfare that you're battling. And it's not just like, oh my God, we got a Billboard #1. It's like all the stuff that happens behind the scenes, all the politics that happen at these record companies and agencies, and all the competitiveness and all the eat or be killed, or eat and kill or be killed. That whole, you know, energy, it's really prominent in the music industry. And you almost start becoming the wolf.
It changes you.
It changes you, and you almost start feeling like, if I don't play this game like the way the people at the top are playing it, there's no way I could ever compete.
When you got out though, and I have to say this because it's kind of like, when people talk about like an addiction, you know what I mean?
You're addicted to the lifestyle.
How
you're
did you
addicted to the
feel?
money.
Did you miss it? Was it quiet? Did you know what to do with yourself? Because to play that game for 20 years and, the light of all this, people don't know, but you give now. You are in a spirit of giving daily,
with no desire
right?
for
that
commerce.
is all you do.
I don't even read Billboard anymore.
Yes, that's it. You're just all in.
I don't even look at the
You're
charts.
not even in the
machine. I don't even know
machine.
what's in the top 10.
That's right.
I'm
You
not
just
paying
give.
attention.
It is a full on 180 from where you were before. So knowing this, take me to the day after you said, I'm done. What was that silence like?
Well, I was still active, working on projects, right? I was blessed to executive produce American Idol because my friend made a deal to acquire 19 Entertainment, so he needed somebody he trusted to executive produce. Katie just happened to be a judge on the show. I was working for Katie I was always working for Katie, so I was still working for her.
She trusts you.
As
You're
an
in her
independent A&R,
corner.
creative on her projects. So now I'm executive producing American Idol. I'm still working for Katie, and I'm getting paid as a consultant to transition out of my contract at Epic. I literally went to my boss, Sylvia Rowan, and said, I do not want to work as a record executive anymore in the music industry. And, what
was that day like for you? Like right before you walked in, were you scared? Were you nervous? Were you confident?
Sylvia was the first person to pay me in the music industry. When I left Capitol Records in 2010, right after we released Teenage Dream, Katie's Diamond album, and every major record company was bidding to hire me, I chose to work for the Black woman. And Sylvia paid me what I believe I was worth. She quadrupled my salary without even meeting me, when everybody else was trying to double it, triple it. And I'm like, I just signed Katy Perry. We have 7 #1 records. Teenage Dream is the #1 record in America, and California Girls is the #1 song on the radio, and Teenage Dream is top 10. And Sylvia paid me. So I always had a dear love for Sylvia Rowan. She's almost like an auntie to me. And she was the first person to pay me well in the music industry.
So you weren't nervous to go in and tell your auntie?
I felt like I was talking to my mentor.
Okay.
And, Sylvia at the time, she was my ally. And she always said, I got your back, babe.
Do you need allies in this industry?
You need allies. You need mentors.
Even at that level? Because people always think if I make it to the top, I'm in charge.
Every chairman, every president, every C-suite executive has a confidant, a consigliere. I mean, that's what Clarence Avant was to so many people. A lot of them are lawyers or business managers, but everybody has allies or confidants that, one, keep them humble, help them navigate the waters. Because even if you're Lucien Grange and you're the chairman of Universal Music Group, he still has a boss. He reports to the Vivendi board.
That's right.
He reports to the French. He reports to a bunch of shareholders. So he has his confidants and his lawyers and his, all the associates that he's acquired over the years that help him. So yes, Sylvia was an ally. And I went to Sylvia. I said, Sylvia, I just don't want to do this anymore. I think it's time for me to go.
Did something happen right before that made you say, I have to do this conversation now?
No, I just felt like LA leaving the company was my out. Because the truth is, if LA continued at Epic Records, because of the way I idolized him, I was probably considering riding it out with him as long as he was running that company.
You're loyal.
Yeah.
That Scorpio behavior will get you.
And it was loyalty, but it was also, I was willing to ride it out with LA, however far it goes.
Sure.
Wherever he goes. That doesn't mean I land well.
Sure.
Being loyal doesn't mean
that's the truth.
It's a happy ending.
No, it's true.
It means you're going to go through the fire.
That's right.
Until the final.
Yeah, end. So you walk in there, you say you're done. And I want to talk about the change that has happened now, right? So around this time, a lot has also changed in the industry, right?
Yep.
Like between social media, streaming, how people are getting paid, what they're getting paid, and the way that, it used to be an AR was necessary to go out there, do the work and develop. And now people are developing themselves using AI and apps in their garage, with their cousin. So it's not even the same game anymore. Now that so much has changed and you've decided to change with it, where are you now? How does that feel? Is music even worth it?
Yeah, I do believe in music is a universal language, and it's going to be around forever. It was here before us, right? It's like music was made to worship. It's God's love language, I believe. But after I left Epic Records, I became an entrepreneur, and I just started, signing my own talent and managing artists. And I built my label, Young Forever, more focused. And I had great success independently. I did a lot of great business, outside of executive producing American Idol and working on Katy Perry. I was also like signing independent artists out of my pocket.
Were you doing it differently though?
Yeah, I was doing it based on like, I believe in you. Your music is uplifting. I'm not going to do anything to like just play this game. And the artists I developed over those few years, we did about 3 billion streams.
Anyone that we've ever heard of?
I managed Money Long to the Grammys, Best New Artist.
There you go. Amazing songwriter.
I managed Money Long during that time, and we launched and broke Hours and Hours. We took it #1, completely independent, and I probably brokered her the biggest deal of the decade. I think it is the biggest new artist record deal of the decade.
She's incredibly talented.
Because we took her completely #1. I mean, she invested. This girl's an adult. She's very smart. She's very intentional.
And very down to earth.
Oh, she's very down to earth, and she's authentic. Like, take it or leave it. Money Long is going to give you who she is, right? But I signed her when she was 18 years old.
Oh, wow.
I signed her in 2008 to Virgin Records. I moved to LA since after I signed her. She ended up moving to LA to kind of be closer to the
It's
sauce,
tough. People don't believe
right?
it. You got to do a little time in LA if you want to make it, no matter what.
She was living in Vero Beach, Florida. And, when we put out Priscilla, that was how she referred to herself then. It didn't go well, but I was always loyal to Priscilla. And I was friends with her for the last, 16 years. So when she decided that I'm going to give this one more go as Money Long after she wrote tons of hits as a songwriter, sold a piece of her catalog, I started managing her, at 32 years old. And we took her to the Grammys. She was nominated for Best New Artist. And she was very loyal to the fact that I was there from the beginning.
Of course.
I could say I discovered her at 18 years old and managed her to her success where she is now. That was when I really decided, after working for Money Long, that I think this run is up for me, because I was exhausted.
Is that it?
You know what? Yeah, it was just that.
Or were you bored?
No, I think maybe a combination of both, but I just felt like I was spending too much time servicing talent. I sold an artist catalog. I was managing this other kid, Curtis Waters. This was more like a pure TikTok play where I found this record. I thought it was a hit. I funded it, put it out, and for some reason, I just blew it up independently. And, he was in a bidding war. He ended up doing 1 billion streams on one song. The song was called Stunnin', Curtis Waters. So all these things were happening. Then here comes Money Long. That was an intense, management experience, because we were very close friends. And now she's breaking, and she's also the boss. Yeah. It wasn't like the mentor, mentee.
It's a different energy.
Like, I'm working for her. She's funding everything. I mean, Money Long funded her career. She spent her own money to go to radio. She spent her own money to shoot her videos. She spent her own money to pay for her things.
It's the best way to do it.
So she wasn't letting any manager.
No compromise.
Like, she was running, she was the founder and CEO of her business. And I was her general manager. So I just didn't want to service talent anymore. I just felt like, you know what? I've done this for almost 20 years. And in the midst of managing Money Long, I was building workshops at my friend's academy. My dear friend Stargate, these two producer duo from Norway, we had huge success together. They actually produced Katy Perry Firework. I met them in 2008.
So you've known them for a long time.
Tor's son just turned 16. I met them before Isaac was born. Like, I've known.
How are we aging?
17 years. I've known their wives. I'm very dear to their family. So just as like a project, I was mentoring and building these artist development workshops at LAMP. This was in 2022 as Money Long is nominated for Best New Artist at the Grammys. And I was also traveling to Santa Barbara to work on Katy Perry's new album. And we're living large. I mean, there's a private chef every single day.
Sure.
The A&R guy at this point is really just hanging out on his cell phone on Instagram DM. Like, I'm not really doing much contribution creatively outside of like, yo, Chris, come listen to this. But I'm really just hanging out in Santa Barbara every day for 3 months, like literally going back and forth. And I would come back and forth and do these workshops at LAMP.
With fresh talent, new kids,
incredible,
green.
State-of-the-art academy, 50 students all around the world. And then I would go to Santa Barbara with these stars.
Right.
And I'm representing Money Long. And the only thing, and this is no disrespect to Money Long or
it's just the
even
season
working
you were in.
for Katie, the only thing that really filled my cup and made me happy was mentoring. I call them the zero, like zero to hero, like an artist starting from scratch. The kids. And I wanted to do more of that. I'm like, that makes me happy. And I'm doing that for free. And I'm getting paid to do this. But that makes me happy. So I realized that, is that what purpose is? Like when you're actually doing something of service to help others and it actually lights you up. And that's when I uncovered that I was changing. So in my own trial of now evolving as a human being, trying to find my way, you know, leaving the frontline music industry, being a full-time entrepreneur for about 3 years, having great success where you're still in your ego.
Yeah, sure.
Listen, #1 record, Money Long.
Yeah, we want to win.
It was on fire. We were in on every magazine, every paper, Billboard. It was like, they did it again.
Everywhere. Song goes crazy.
And again, as you could imagine, all the same. Okay, Chris, would you come back in? Like LA, I remember when LA hired me to come to Epic, I was managing BB Rexa. That was my first time when I was like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. It was right after I signed Iggy Azalea. She had a huge hit. And I was like, you know what? I got a little break here. Let me manage BB Rexa. And then I got her signed and she wrote Eminem, The Monster. And she had Hey Mama with David Guetta. And she had Me, Myself, and I with G-Eazy. We were on fire. LA said, everybody got a price. Write the number you want as a salary on this napkin. Like some old school mafia stuff. And I was like, I'm not going back. I thought in 2015, I wasn't going back in. And LA got me to go back in. So here we go again, 2022.
You wrote down the price?
I wrote down the price.
And he accepted.
And he literally paid me $50,000 short of the number I asked him. Which was the number I asked him.
You were making it up anyway.
Yeah, I went further than I wanted.
Yes.
And I was like, yo, you really gonna pay me that to do? He's like, yeah.
Can't say no.
You're the best. He really believed in me. I'll never forget what LA did for me. He really showed me. He confirmed that I'm a record man because he was the record man I idolized. He signed Usher. He signed Pink. The legends. Produced Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
You know, so he confirmed that. So in 2022, as I'm literally in this like, okay, transition, like, Chris, you're feeling home over here with these kids, like mentoring, and you're doing it for free. And over here, you're getting attention and you're making money and you're getting accolades, but you're not happy over there. And all the calls start coming again. Like, we want to make you the president. We want you to come in and be the COO. And then eventually, I'm like, okay, so is that my ego or should I try to become Chairman Chris? At this time, I even changed my handle on, because in my head, I'm always the chairman.
Sure.
I'm Chairman Chris. And I said, you know what? I gotta follow my heart this time. I can't get caught up in the ego. And I've been caught up a little bit in my ego for 15 years since we started soaring high. I mean, like my first hit record was at 21, 22 years old with Rihanna, Upon the Replay.
There it is.
I've A&R'd Upon the Replay for Rihanna. I put the song together. I found the beat. My writer wrote the song, smoking a Newport cigarette in front of me. My best friend, Nick Nastasi, recorded it at his hole-in-the-wall studio in West Orange, New Jersey, and I was trying to get her a record deal. And my lawyer at the time, Scott Felcher, who was helping me put together our company, said, why don't you guys like I just started representing this girl, Robin Fenty. She signed to my producer, Sturkin and Rogers. Why don't you guys try it on her? They really are like successful producers. Maybe they could get her a deal. And then maybe I was like, I'm gonna start. I failed, but I just said, you know what, Scott? Okay, because I know this song is a hit. And we went to Connecticut and cut 3 demos on Robin, and the rest is history. So hit record from age of 22, and then 24 years old, I get a job from assistant to senior director. The first artist I ever discovered was Katy Perry, and we had 11 number ones in a row.
I mean, God's hand is all over
to
it.
me, I'm like, that creates an ego, and you're riding high for your whole career. And then the next artist I signed, Iggy Azalea, the first artist at the new company, is nominated for Best New Artist, and it has 3 number ones. One that was co-written by Katy Perry, Black Widow, and Fancy. And then I'm like, okay. Then the first artist I managed, BB Rexa, the first artist I managed gets nominated for Best New Artist.
Then you quit it all, money long, and you do it again.
So it's like,
so
almost like,
now?
yo, what am I supposed to be doing? So
that pull.
So I just had to follow this feeling. And you know what?
Was that Holy Spirit? Was that your heart?
It was also the desire for community, because in the midst of all of this, I'm getting divorced. And I think, well, I know that my desire to end my marriage was part of a complete self-sabotage. Like, I'm going to start over completely. And I'm going to go back to who Chris Anokute is. And, you know, God bless our 15-year love affair. And it was great. And my co-creator was the first girlfriend I ever had, and I married her. So I'm very grateful to God that I was blessed to partner with her, and we have an amazing son. And, you know, I was losing myself in everything. I was losing myself in the record companies. I was losing myself in marriage. I almost even thought, you know, you had to be married for certain people to take you serious in the record industry, because, you know, being a single guy and working with a bunch of female talent, people may not trust you. So I wanted to always, I brought my co-creator everywhere. Like, I always was a person that was very bold about, I'm married and I got a wife. I'm mature. I got my shit together. And
was it performative? Do you feel like
no,
you
it
were
wasn't
just performing
performative, because
life,
I you know, madly in love, and you know,
no, not the relationship, but performing the role of being this business person. You know,
being Chris Anokute, got it all together.
And now, are you actually who you really are?
Oh yeah, this is who I was. This is who I was when I was that kid in New Jersey, 17 years old, going to Justin's, trying to hang out to run into Puff. And then I met John Huston and that Lincoln Navigator that said, Nippy, I'm back to young Chris. First of all, young Chris is a believer.
Yes.
I love the Lord, and I'm loud about it. I was, when I was 17, 18, 19, and then it started like, I started getting quiet, because I realized that people didn't really always like me talking about God.
Well, I don't have to like it.
And I almost felt like, you know, surrounded by a lot of even Jewish executives and leaders in the music industry, I kind of felt like, oh, am I going to turn people off? And to each their own. But me and my co-creator weren't completely aligned in our faith either, even though she brought me to Christ by taking me to that church when I was 17 years old. But belief and practice
are also different
things.
Yeah,
but, you know, and she's a great human being, and she believes in God. But my relationship, or my desire to have a closer relationship with Jesus Christ, I didn't really feel support or even have like a co-pilot. So that really affected me a little bit, because I felt like I didn't feel I was yoked, you know, and I'm not judging.
So no, not at all. So
but
where
I just
are you
didn't
now,
feel like
then?
I was yoked.
You know, you are single, you said?
Yeah, so I decided to get divorced. And in the midst of that loneliness, I was yearning community. Because, yeah, you could be passively making deals and, you know, earning, but you're working remotely. You're an entrepreneur. You're working in a 2 or 3 person office. I'm going to Santa Barbara, working with Katie. I'm executive producing American Idol. I got these artists signed to my label, but you're always having like these 2 person, 3 person meetings. But every time I went to Lamp, I was just like surrounded by so much energy. And just ironically, my friend who found the business said, Chris, man, every time you come to Lamp, the students keep on saying, when's Anokute coming back?
Aww.
You should run that place for us. I'm like, Tor, I ain't running no music academy. I said, you want me to run it? He's like, yeah, man, there's something I see, Chris. I think you should run it. And just try it, man. And if you love it, we'll partner and we'll do this. I think this is your thing. I mean, we wanted to give it to the world because we're so grateful for what the music industry gave to us. I mean, they did really well. But I think this is your baby because I just see you. So I said, okay, Tor, I'll run it for 1 year. I don't want to make any promises to you, but I need to handpick every student in the incoming class. I need to interview everybody. And if I feel what you see, I will embark on this mountain with y'all, and I'll take it and run the business. And after this first year of, running the academy and serving these students, right? From all around the world, from 18 years old to 38 years old, from Brazil to Australia, from Nashville to, Brooklyn, New York, through Arizona, I've uncovered my true purpose. And that's what I always wanted to do, is just serve. And I remember being that 16-year-old who was trying to audition Jasmine and see if I could help her become the next Aaliyah when she had no desire to sing. And the kid trying to put together the boy bands, and the person calling the, Arlene's Grocery and Joe's Pub trying to book my friend Alcatraz, who I wanted to manage. All I ever wanted to do was to help artists find their voice. I never really cared much about, I even said this, and I say it all the time. I prayed to God when I was 17 years old. If I could make a school teacher's salary of $40,000 a year, I would do music full time for the rest of my life. Because all I want to do is just be in the music industry and help artists see their dreams come true. And I didn't realize that fast forward, that was 17 years old, I'm 42 years old. Fast forward 25, 27 years later, this experience in my second mountain at Lamp is actually the dream come true. This is what I prayed for.
So your cup is full?
No, my cup is completely full. And I'm so grateful for all the experience, because I feel like God has put me through these experiences, put me through the ego chamber, used me as a vessel to help so many great artists achieve massive success, so I could now be a mentor, coach, leader for this next generation of talent. But this time, protect them. I have real information. I have real life experience. I'm actually telling them the truth. I'm teaching them from a holistic place. I'm teaching them from a place of expertise. I consider myself an expert.
You're wildly
I understand
transparent.
It inside and out. I'm extremely transparent.
Some of these kids are not ready. I have had the pleasure of witnessing, how you will get real and say, oh yeah, those numbers are not real. This is how it works. This is what a split is. Some of these kids were not ready, but that is exactly what they need. You don't want to find that out on the back end after a contract doesn't work out. It's a gift to have someone tell you the truth. And that's what you're doing every day.
Nobody ever really
they won't
told me the truth.
Yeah.
And mentored me in that way, outside of maybe John Houston, who was much older in his career.
Sure.
His daughter was already a
and
massive
very secure
star.
with himself.
So he was very secure. So he was able to give. He was probably at the time, 60 years older than me. But yeah, I mean, I think honesty saves time. Authenticity is everything. Like your authenticity
shines through.
Is your light.
Yes.
And I just want to be authentic. And, I can be polarizing sometimes to the students because I'm very honest. And I'm also very stern and matter of fact. Like I'm not trying to tell you this is like daisies and rainbows and your dreams are going to come true.
Some of that's parenting.
Like I'm telling you, you're going to get kicked in the teeth.
Yes.
You're probably going to starve. You should get a job. And people get all offended. Like, that's not fair. This is my livelihood. What do you mean? I'm like, no, you should get a job. Like you don't want to be a starving artist. There's nothing healthy about that. That anxiety. You can't create from that space.
That's right.
And this is my second mountain. In fact, I will do this work for the rest of my life.
In one way, shape, or form.
Yeah. To coach, mentor, educate, and serve artists and creatives with no desire for commerce. Do you imagine how freeing that is for me?
That's a gift.
For 18 years, I've been looking at my phone. Yeah. I've been looking at Spotify for artists. I've been looking at the
leads,
charts.
Pop-ups,
I've been looking at
award season. Listen, it's exhausting.
I've been exhausted in this competitive nature of the music industry where you got to get to number one. Yeah. We got to be top 10. Yeah. We got to be most added. Oh my God, she didn't get followers. Oh my God, she doesn't have enough followers. Oh my God, we didn't get to 1 million streams. And it's just like enough.
Your nervous system can't operate like that.
No, you can't operate like that. And that affects relationships personally.
Parenting,
that may
partnership.
Affect, my partnership with my co-creator. That may have affected my relationship
with yourself and with God too.
And with God, right?
Yeah.
And potentially my relationship with my son and my future children. So for the first time since I was that whimsical 16-year-old naive kid, I'm free. I'm free. And that's why when I think about young forever is who I am. I'm young forever. I always want to resort back to that naive, whimsical, childlike kid that was in it for all the right reasons.
With no limitations.
With no limitations.
And the childlike wonder.
Yep.
So if your first mentor, as we kind of wrap up here, your first mentor were to come to you and see who you are today, right? Because he's no longer with us, but
absolutely.
If he were to hear exactly what we talked about, what do you think he would say to you? What do you think Whitney Houston's father, John Houston, would say to you now?
Wow. That's a deep question.
Would he be proud? Would he be shocked?
No, he wouldn't be shocked at all. Like, he told me, you're going to go all the way, kid. Like, you're going to be a superstar executive. But I think right now, not maybe
today,
5 years ago, like
right now,
in the ego of the record man, Chris Anokute, the man
Hearing
I became
you say,
right
I
now.
am free. What do you think he would say?
He would probably say, I wish I figured that out at your age. Because at 42 years old, to be free, like I know so many people in their 50s, 60s, 70s who are still in that rat race and who are still in that spirit of kill or be killed and just manipulative and, in this spiritual warfare, playing politics all day long, all desiring commerce, which is just artificial numbers on a scorecard. It's all fake news. And they're not free. And they're not really living in their dharma. Now, I can't speak for what they do behind the scenes, but their day-to-day for most of their life is this rat race. And I think now that I'm in my dharma at 42 years old, living in my truest purpose, I truly believe that I am living out my purpose. I think he would say, I'm proud of you, and I wish I figured it out at that age too.
Wow.
But I do know he was still intense about the business.
Sure.
In his late 60s, early 70s, and uncovering things that I saw in the documentary that I didn't know. Things didn't end well between him and his daughter.
Yeah.
Business-wise, and also, unfortunately, it didn't end well personally. So I think he'd be proud. I think it's important to look in the mirror and then look in the rearview mirror and then look in the mirror and like focus on you. And I'm back to that young Chris, that whimsical person, the person that falls in love, the person that, has a lot of faith, the person that thinks he could do anything on the planet, the person that's fearless. Like, I am so free. I am so unafraid.
Yeah, you're lit up.
I don't care what anybody thinks about me. I'm going to say however I feel. I'm not trying to be invited to the party. I don't need to sit in the room. I'm not going to tell you, you know what, I'll stay late because I want to make you feel like I'm working hard. I know I work hard. I know I'm worth it. I know I belong there. And if you don't want me in the room, I don't need to be there. And I'm excited to attract what God has in store for me now. That I'm free.
And can be a better steward of it.
Yeah, and be a better steward of it. This second mountain of mentorship I truly believe it's a bridge to what may be my ultimate. I have a desire in my heart to preach the gospel, but I don't have the tutelage and education to feel confident enough to be a good steward of
The responsibility.
God's word. So I think over these next few years, through mentorship, through aligning with spiritual leaders, getting more into the word and understand, like you could read, like I'm probably 2 chapters away from finally reading the Bible.
Cover to cover.
I mean, at 42 years old, I'm in. I decided to commit to it. But I need to read it again and again and
it's
again.
It's in your bloodline. Look, you're just like your daddy.
Yep. I need to read it again and again so I can really understand it, so I can preach it. But I would love to spread the good news. So I think this is a bridge to that, just being in front of people and talking to amazing luminaries like yourself on camera, getting comfortable with this, because I do want to preach the gospel.
Well, you are. And I think that is something that I think no matter what, wherever you are, we always have an opportunity, if that is our belief system, to be a disciple of the life that we're living. And if you're living a life for Christ and you put that at the forefront of everything you do, then you are always involved in his ministry. And so that's a very beautiful thing you're doing.
I appreciate that. Yeah. And I've heard that from a few people, like, Chris, every day you're at Lamp, you're preaching. I'm like, you know what? I appreciate that, because I just want to be the light in every room I walk in.
And you draw people to him, right? You know, in your action and in what you do. You know, I've had people come to me on my book tour. A young woman came up to me and said, I'm getting baptized tomorrow. And she said she'd fallen, you know, in her relationship with Christ for so many years. And in seeing how I lived my relationship, that it was open and it was generous and it was kind, and I talk about how God is active in my world, that she decided she would go back and she would rediscover it and push past her church hurt. And now she was in a place where she said, me and my mother actually are both getting baptized together. And so I wasn't involved.
Huge.
I didn't say anything to her, but just letting you know, you never know who your light is inspiring. And that is so much of, you know, what I do here with the Tell Me More podcast is I just want people to see people who live differently, and you don't have to change. You know what I mean? There's no force. Like, I believe in a God who is pursuing you constantly, and he can do it better than I ever could. So if
I love
possible,
that you said that. Pursuing you constantly.
Oh, all the time. Even when I was
pursuing
you. So even if I was running away, he was right up behind me. Just whether or not I decided to slow down and look at him is up to me. But he's always after me, you know, and I really do believe that for people's lives. But it also means that, you know, everyone's got to choose when they want to stop and hang out with him, you know, and I can't make that happen. But what I can tell you is show you what it looks like when I do, and say, like, look, it's worth taking the time, you know, and I think you do that so beautifully.
I mean, I appreciate you saying that. And that's such a beautiful thing to speak into people's lives, because I think a lot of people don't really, like, I can't hear the voice of God, but by you saying God is pursuing you constantly, something as simple as that, knowing.
You know, sometimes you feel near and far. You're like, man, I just feel like I'm all in with him right now, you know, or sometimes it's like, man, I feel like I just don't know what to do. Look, whether or not you are feeling what you're feeling, he's right there. So it's just a matter of, you know, what needs tweaked so that I can feel his presence more intimately, but no matter what, he's pursuing me. It's an amazing, we could talk about that all day, but I do want to know. So as we wrap up, for people who are listening right now, who have taken from your word, from your journey, from your stories, who you've spoken into their life, whether it's through their career or through their faith journey, you know, if there was one thing you would ask of them, right? An action, a behavior that they're going to put out into the world as they are in this industry. So we're speaking to the other executives who were in the room with you. We're speaking to the new artist who may not know what's going on and is actually excited about the room she's in. What is the ask that you would tell them that you think might shape the course of their life and, by extension, the greater world?
Well, that you be your best self, your highest self in all you do, in your pursuit of what you may consider your happiness. Make sure you are promoting light, because I do believe that as creation, it's our duty to spread into the world every single day of our lives, in every single room you enter, as a parent, as a partner, as a customer at Starbucks, as a singer, songwriter, actor, director, storyteller, author. I think it's our duty to promote light and positivity. We are not here to be destructive. That is not who God has called us to be. And you could be destructive in the way you talk to people, You could be destructive in the way you parent your child. You could be destructive in the way you promote your music and what you're saying in your music and the screenplays you're writing and the images you're putting out there. You could be destructive in what you say on social media. And if we could just be the light we hope to see in others, I think humanity will heal itself. So that's what I would encourage everybody to just think about every day. Just try to be your best self. Not the best version of you, because the best version of you may not be a great person. I'm talking about be the best person, period. Like if you could rate the best to the worst, worst is closer to dark and best is closer to light. Be the best person you could be. And then I always ask artists, would you do it for free? Like, would you actually do this for free? Because when you ask them that question, they pause because they're forced to have to reconcile with the true desires of their heart. And a lot of artists are driven by other things, like maybe fame, maybe money, maybe vanity. Like I want to one up somebody. And we all go through those things, but it's an offering to God. And what if this whole commerce, showbiz, number one song, number one movie, the business of the record business, what if it was all fake and it just disappeared and it was just all a dream and it was a lie? And what if music was just free and you just made music as an offering to God? Would you still pursue it? And the ones who usually get to the conclusion that I would do this for free for the rest of my life, they're usually rooted in a pure intention that comes from God. That's not driven by their ego. This is almost like their destiny. They have to get it out, and they don't care if they ever make $1 doing it. They don't care if anybody. I don't care if it's one person who listens to it or 1 million people. I am going to do this for the rest of my life. You could feel that passion, and that's what I want to get to in people, because I think we need more people who are willing to just do it as an offering.
What a gift. I have been poured into. I feel inspired. I thank you so much for being vulnerable and open and ministering to our spirits and to our minds and our souls.
Wow,
Pastor
that was
Christopher
Anokute.
Anokute.
Chicos, yeah, Anokute, Imo State.
Hey,
no, but
Christopher.
I'm so grateful to you, and
Thank
you
you
for this platform, and anything I could do to be a voice out here, but I appreciate you.
You are doing it. Thank you for
God
being
bless
here.
You. Thank you, Nicole.